And when he joined the services, उस time UPSC सिर्फ 2 attempts देता था and the maximum age was 24.
Dr. Radhakrishnan became president of India. He felt that is too much. When I joined a few years back, Chinese aggression took place, 1962 conflict, and 65 war with Pakistan. I personally consider peaceful resolution of the Mizo problem is one of the success stories of India after independence.
The difference between the power and authority.
You can ask the students to read Bertrand Russell's book entitled Power.
What's tougher, clearing UPSC exam or staying honest throughout the career?
Civil servant must remember that the mistakes or wrongs that you might have committed would be remembered, not your good work. Coming back to Mr. Pimputkar's career, he is a legend and he is known for asking the police to arrest his wife when she was driving a vehicle before getting a license.
Oh.
Who is competent to tell that you don't have the officer-like quality?
They themselves say that.
The board would like to see whether the candidate has critical thinking capacity. Even appearing for the civil service examination is a part of self-development process. Tell the students you must maintain your cool, listen to the question and limit your answer to what you know.
Who do you think becomes an IAS officer, the brighter one or the luckier one?
Rather, I'd say God help those who help themselves.
Hello everyone, welcome to LevelUp IAS UPSC podcast. Today, I'm very honored and very privileged because I'm getting an opportunity to have conversation with Rangan Dutta Sir, who is 1966 batch IAS officer. 60 years ago, he joined the services. And when he joined the services, उस time UPSC सिर्फ 2 attempts देता था and the maximum age was 24. जो अभी 32 है for general category and you get 6 attempts now. At that point of time, only 2 attempts were given. That time used to follow the British era system. उस time पे कोई preliminary exam नहीं होता था. There was only mains exam and interviews. And the IAS officer used to get only 400 rupees per month as salary. When he joined the services in 1966, he was allocated the Assam cadre in 1967 and for 15 years almost he served there. And then for almost he was shifted to Northeastern Council under Ministry of Home Affairs at Shillong और वहाँ उनको पूरा Northeast जानने का मौका मिला. And he played important role in shaping the developmental policies in Northeast. वो पीरियड काफ़ी टर्मोइल से भरा था क्योंकि 1971 इंडो-पाक वॉर था which led to the creation of Bangladesh. 1975 that was the period of emergency और उसके बाद the nuclear test. तो कैसे ब्यूरोक्रेसी ने उस पूरे पीरियड को हैंडल किया? Of course we'll get to know from him. उसके बाद Rangan Dutta Sir also got the opportunity to be the consultant at World Bank and he was sent to Afghanistan for some months. Later, he came back and he joined as the managing director in TriFed and then as a joint secretary in Ministry of Defense. वहाँ पर national security से related matters भी उन्होंने काफ़ी handle किए. Today, he's actively involved in mentoring aspirants and he's been so involved with them कि वो चाहते हैं कि bureaucracy में बहुत actively involved bureaucrats हों. So let's talk to him and know more from him ki what does he thinks of Indian bureaucracy today and how was it back then? How the Indian civil services has evolved. So without wasting much time, I just want to start this conversation with him. So hello sir, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So thank you for coming here today for this podcast and for this conversation. We are very honored that you are here and you are here to share your experiences and your views regarding civil services, about your tenure.
Thank you. I feel deeply honored to have a chance to interact with you. And if it helps the candidates, I'll be still more happy.
So I got to know that you still mentor aspirants
Yes.
regarding the services and everything. What keeps you motivated? Ki abhi tak you are writing, of course, the columns also in the Statesman. You are mentoring students. You are mentoring aspirants. So what keeps you motivated?
Interaction with the young minds enriched my life in a way.
And so talking about career in civil services, during your time, how was civil services seen in the society, socially and career-wise also? उस समय पर भी सरकारी नौकरी का बहुत, of course, people would have wanted to join the services and the government jobs. तब कैसा situation था?
Well, you see, it has been always there because the choice is between whether you administer laws or administer policies and discharge what you call sovereign functions of the state.
Okay.
So persons who are willing to join government will be made of a different stuff altogether. Their values
Right.
are necessarily different. For example, one candidate once told me that he doesn't like to join private sector because that means only adding to the shareholders' value. Here, I'll do something more important. Administering laws,
Right.
implementing policies. That gives me a greater satisfaction. That was the answer I got from one of the students.
And this could be a great answer of the question, why do you want to join civil services?
Yes.
Right. And what motivated you to join the services? आपके time पर when you were having a conversation with your parents, तब होता होगा कि क्या बनना है, and उस समय तो चीजें बहुत अलग होंगी.
Not much different, frankly.
Okay.
It is only the numbers of people who may be appearing for exams now is much more than what it used to be.
Okay.
It was almost a routine kind of thing that those who studied economics should sit for the UPSC examinations or the state service examination. Graduates in what you call humanities now would always did consider civil service as a respectable, profession.
Right, right. And you graduated in which subject, sir?
1962, I graduated.
Okay.
I was a student of Scottish Church College of Calcutta.
Oh, nice.
And during our time, the principal was still an Englishman.
Oh.
And some teachers were also English men and women. So that helped me to a considerable extent. While I was studying for my MA, I appeared for the UPSC examination.
Okay.
In 1963. I was called for interview. I came to Delhi because I qualified for IAS examination for the IAS and foreign service candidates. The scheme was like this, that there are optional papers and compulsory papers. So candidate for the IPS had to appear only in 2 optional papers. For other services, other central service cadres, it is 3. And for the IS, 2 more advanced papers.
Okay.
And the full marks for the interview was a huge number of 400.
Oh.
So I was called for interview for IS. I could not make it, but I was put in the central services. So I joined Indian Railway Traffic Service in 1964.
Oh.
And appeared for the IS next year, 1965, and I got selected.
And at that time, only 2 attempts were given.
Only 2 attempts were given. There's an interesting story
Okay.
I must narrate, is that earlier 3 attempts were allowed. But when Dr. Radhakrishnan became President of India, he felt that that is too much. Anyway, I'm digressing from it.
Yes.
But what I must emphasize, that those who seek to join civil service, they must understand that they are primarily responsible for proper administration of laws and policies.
True.
Because that would mean country's progress.
Right. And how do you see the 6 attempts which are given now?
I have frankly no comments to make on this subject.
And about the age, because you told me once that 24 was also used to be thought as a...
Yes. You see, this is an important matter because integrity of the service demands regular induction of the right type of people to the service.
Right.
And to create what you call a batch loyalty or mentality. Okay.
True.
And as of now, those who have shorter period of service obviously will not be able to reach the highest levels.
Yes.
And that's the reality you've got to accept. So, what is important is not the number of people who are young,
Right.
who could serve for a longer period.
और सर वो डिफरेंस क्या होता है इफ यू आर गेटिंग द चांस टू सर्व फॉर द लॉन्गर पीरियड एंड दोज हु आर गेटिंग द चांस टू सर्व फॉर द शॉर्टर पीरियड, तो आप अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को आप कैसे फुलफिल करते हैं और वो डिफरेंस क्या डिफरेंस होता है?
देखिए, इसमें डिफरेंस जो है
यस सर,
वो काफी क्लियर है, क्योंकि सीनियर पोजीशंस के लिए आपको सर्विस period is important, because those who join late, उनको तो 20 साल से ज्यादा नहीं होगा. Therefore, the system does not wait for anybody.
राइट.
Now, this is built into the system now, that some may not even reach the level of additional secretary. That is after 25 years of service, all that. It might have changed, but the fact is that youthful profile of the service is very important for ensuring that the officers recruited could reach the
Highest level.
higher levels. So the basics are the same.
Okay, if we talk about your training under MG Pimputkar sir, if you want to talk something about him, because we know he was a great administrator and he was also the LG of Delhi for some time. And what would you like to tell
Well,
about him
Mr. Pimputkar was an institution
in himself?
because his understanding and appreciation of the administrative system was mature, based on his experiences.
Right.
He, after the police action in Hyderabad,
Hmm.
I believe Mr. Pimputkar was one of the ICS officers
Hmm.
who was deputed to Hyderabad to reorganize the Nizam system of administration.
Oh,
And
so great responsibility.
Introduce laws and systems which were prevalent in British India, the rest of the country. So really, his role was remarkable. And what it taught us is, I must say, attention to details. This is number one. Second is that appreciation of laws, appreciation of policies, and a critical mind to see the output, the impact such activities might have produced on the lives of the citizens. Therefore, teaching of law was very important, and every one of us took it seriously, because there's an examination at the end of 1 year's training program. This also included attachment to army units in J&K.
Okay.
To note how Indian Army functions. So we are sent to J&K in batches.
Okay.
I mean, all of us were divided into several batches, and we are trained at different sectors of Kashmir. I was posted in Gurez sector with 10 Dogra regiment.
Okay.
And we saw how the army functions and what is the type of responsibility they discharge. So whole object of 1 year's course was to broaden your horizon and make you understand and appreciate the relationship between laws, policies, and welfare of the people.
Right. So this examination process, it means it's a never-ending process. Once you're preparing for UPSC CSE, it's being said, once you clear the exam, you become an IAS officer or you go into services. तो उसके बाद there's no such problem. Life is very smooth and you don't need to study much ऐसा. But after listening to you and after listening to all the other officers also, what I feel is that examination or studying is something which is very important, and study of law and knowledge of all other things around you and of the nation as well. It is very important, right?
Yes, but as I looked at it, service provides an opportunity for self-development. The experiences,
Yes.
the complex duties you perform at different levels would empower you to understand what you call democratic governance in a federal system.
Right, right. And sir, if we talk about, there are several myths and misconceptions regarding the services. If you have any in your mind, like what do you see, how people perceive civil services? Is it very important for us to know actual what do you mean by civil services?
You see, first is you should see the Oxford Dictionary meaning of the word civil service. All non-judicial and non-military posts in the government is what you call civil service, because the cost of which is borne on the civil side of the budget.
Okay.
You see, we have inherited a system which makes a clear distinction. Therefore, in theory, anyone who is working and whose salary is paid from what you call the civil budget is a civil servant.
Okay, okay. And if we talk about your initial years of services, first 10 years, during that time, it was a period of turmoil, of course. 1971, Indo-Pak War, creation of Bangladesh, and then emergency period. So how were you able, what challenges did you face during that tenure?
As you know, I was posted
Yes.
to Assam cadre of the IAS.
Yes, sir.
That was the state of Assam before 1971 reorganization of Northeastern region.
Yes, sir.
So when I joined a few years back, Chinese aggression took place.
Yes.
1962 conflict.
Yes.
And 65 war with Pakistan.
Yes.
So therefore, first thing that we are happy that no such situation might arise in the next few years.
Okay. Yes.
But since Assam shares border with Bangladesh, Burma, undivided Assam, and Tibet, it was a highly sensitive area. And my training was cut short at Jorhat.
Oh.
Because the government needed people to administer a disturbed area, Mizo Hills district of Assam, which is now a Union Territory. So I was transferred to Mizo district in 1968. Early 1968, and joined the overall effort of the government to restore peace and stability in Mizoram. Because the Mizo revolt was a serious problem.
Yes, it was.
So the area was declared as disturbed and the armed forces were inducted in aid of the civil power. Our job was to make the Mizos feel that there was little chance of separation from India, given the asymmetry of power. Also, that India is big enough to accommodate the wishes of small minorities. And this is exactly what happened. After 5 years, Mizo district, which was one of the districts of Assam, became a union territory.
Union territory.
And after 86, it became a full-fledged state. And the point we made to them, the India could provide support to all groups. So Mizos don't suffer from any serious handicap. They have to develop themselves. And they did it. Today, Mizoram is a fully literate state.
Yes, it has recently been declared one.
And a strong middle class has grown up.
Yes, sir.
Women's empowerment is evident from the way the Mizo girls perform in sports
Yes.
and other activities.
Actively. Right.
Also in certain difficult professions like, say, nursing, teaching, you see a substantial presence of the Mizo. So I would say it is a major success story of India in dealing with insurgency in the Northeast.
Would you like to share any such incident with those people that you still remember and it was such a memorable incident for you?
Well, one incident I'll never forget, I had a good Mizo friend and some interaction with the Mizo young people.
Okay.
They argued that we were never a part of Indian civilization.
Okay.
This area became a part of Bengal presidency in 1873 only. Our ethnicity, our language, we have nothing in common with you. Our argument was that we accept it, but India has a large umbrella.
Right.
They could accommodate you. There is no difficulty. And what gave me the greatest satisfaction was that the man who led the Mizo movement was Pusa. He became the chief minister of Mizoram after 1986 Accord.
Okay.
I personally consider that peaceful resolution of the Mizo problem is one of the success stories of India after independence. Today, Mizoram is a settled, peaceful, developed area.
And you were part of it and you played an important role.
I had a, you can say, distinction. Government decided that existing arrangement of one district headquarters and one subdivision is not enough. To reach administration, more such administrative units will be required. So, a new subdivision
was created.
Earlier, we had one subdivision at Lungle only. So, to ensure that development reaches the southern part, a place called Saiha in Poy Lakhe region, whose language was a bit different from other Mizos. Every tribe has its own dialect. So I was appointed as subdivisional officer, Saiha. I was the first SDOs. So my colleagues who went there later always said that I see your name on top, the list of subdivisional officers.
Okay.
I said that this is the only exam or whatever I topped. So I never forget it in life.
Okay.
And today, Poy Lakhe region,
yes,
you might find out from a net with headquarters of Saiha, is integral to India's Look East policy.
Yes.
Because the highway through that area will reach Burma, ports of Burma. So, Poys and Lakhes are different from Mizos. So, to see that the development reaches them, a new subdivision was created. And I take considerable pride that I was the first subdivisional officer. It is now a district.
Wow. So, of course, it was at that time, it was a great achievement. So, and sir, during that time, and even today also, we see people talking about the political influence, political interference in civil services. So, during your time, during your tenure, what kind of, was there any such incident?
Yes.
And how did you navigate through?
See, the thing is that first, members of the legislative assemblies have a role to play in democratic governance.
Yes.
So therefore, we have to take into account their views on, say, various reforms measures, how anti-poverty program was being implemented, for example. So the political leaders at all levels, they're a part of the stakeholders community. We have got to listen to them. But while taking decisions, we always remember that whatever we decide is subject to appeal.
Right.
Before higher competent authorities. So the duties are actually quasi-judicial in nature. So regardless of pressures, we have to necessarily go by laws and the rules and the policies of the government.
But how did you manage to say no to them? Or how one should say no if they want to?
First, when a man is seeking something from you, means he is not able to do that himself. And the existing laws and institutions of governance provide for appeal against your orders. So we have been trained that you are the competent authority. Whatever orders you passed are subject to appeal. Therefore, influences from outside are not a part of this process. So in most cases, you have given patient hearing, but did what rules demand.
Aspirants of today, sometimes they are very confused between the difference between the power and authority.
It's very clear. Authority is what you exercise under the laws. Power may be extra legal. It's different altogether. You can ask the students to read Bertrand Russell's book entitled Power.
All right.
The concept of power is operationalized under laws and the procedures. These are very important.
So, sir, before I proceed, I just want to ask you a few questions. These are some rapid fire questions wherein the questions would be very short and the answers would also be very short. So, and it's the questions are interesting also. So, beginning with I would like to talk about our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, ma'am, because when she was sworn in as a Prime Minister of this nation, you were also in the services at that year only, 1966, right? So, how would you describe our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, ma'am?
You see, I had a chance to pay my respects to her when, after the defeat of Congress in elections held after emergency, she visited Nagaon district, where I was deputy commissioner. So I called on her. That was my only interaction. But what I found, enormous leadership quality. The way she talked to me, and the president of India at that time was from Assam, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed.
Yes.
So she lost her power by that time. She came as a Congress leader. But what was evident that she had enormous leadership quality.
That's great, sir. So coming to the next question, what's tougher, clearing UPSC exam or staying honest throughout the career?
You see, it's very difficult to compare the two. The purpose and objects are different.
Yeah.
Now, UPSC is a entry-level examination.
Right.
So you have entered into a career and you have the feeling of happiness that I earned it. Okay.
Yes.
Therefore, that is one part of life. Other part is basically the same. Follow the rules, laws, and policies, and implement it with due confidence.
So you'll be honest. You'll remain honest. Right. And according to you, since you've been mentoring aspirants now, you see the pattern is changing, the exam somewhere is changing, the kind of questions that are coming in the preliminary exam, the mains exam, and everybody wants to become an IAS officer. So, who do you think becomes an IAS officer, the brighter one or the luckier one?
Rather, I'd say God helps those who help themselves.
Okay. That's a very diplomatic answer, I would say you did. And the next question is, what are the timeless core values that the civil servants must hold on to?
Core values.
Yes.
I'll say integrity, intellectual integrity.
Okay.
Why intellectual integrity is important? Because that is based on, first, lack of any personal interest in the matter. And if you feel that there is a certain problem, you can always request, recuse from that, as judges do.
Yes, they do recuse them.
That should be, and it is a part of the civil service value systems. Professionalism and ethics go together.
True, true. And so that was the end of these 5 questions, rapid fire questions. Now coming back to our conversation, since you talked about judges, so I wanted to know about this relationship between civil services and judiciary. There's an interesting relationship between both. So how do you see that?
Well, I think it's not relationship, but responsibility.
Okay.
You see, administrative decisions are taken within the framework of laws and policies. And therefore, the courts have an important role to play, because orders passed by a subdivision officer might as well reach High Court. So therefore, the court should examine to what extent you have acquired values of legal system.
So if we see the young aspirants today, they keep on giving this exam. They keep on attempting for UPSC unless and until they get this IAS rank. Everybody wants to become an IAS officer, as we know. But how do you see this? This constantly spending these much of years for this exam?
You see, I see it as a positive development, because they are willing to join civil service, which will keep them in public life, and they would deal with the problems which are very important for social development, and that they must have interest in a wide range of subjects. Therefore, it is a healthy trend. A civil servant must remember that the mistakes or wrongs that you might have committed would be remembered,
Yeah,
not your good work.
because you're always working
And
behind the
this
curtain.
is, I find, and whenever I get a chance to say, it is the core of the civil service ethics and value system. Whatever good you might do would be forgotten. But if you did anything wrong,
That will.
that will be remembered. Take, for instance, coming back to Mr. Pimputkar's career.
Yes.
He's a legend, and he's known for asking the police to arrest his wife when she was driving a vehicle before getting a license.
Oh. So he got his wife arrested. How many times?
No, this only once.
Okay.
Thereafter, she must have realized.
Yes, yes, yes.
But this is a story I heard in Maharashtra.
Mm-hmm.
Later, after he left Mussoorie, that he is known as a stickler of norms, etc. He won't allow any of us to attend lecture without wearing a tie, and teach people how to articulate an argument.
But where do these other central services stand? Because people or the aspirants, even if they clear, some of them clear the exam, they get rank. So some of them get the central services. So, but they are not really happy. But when should they realize that every service has its own important role that it plays, and the difference is only a few marks, 5 to 10 marks?
You see, whatever it is, few marks or this or that,
Yes.
these are not important. More important is your development of a mindset based on respect for laws, respect for procedures, and faith in future of the country. Now, take for instance, Indian Revenue Service Officer. It deals with income tax. It is a very important function. Now, he has the authority to issue a notice on any individual,
Right.
asking him to file tax return.
Yes.
A person might appear to be very rich and moving around in vehicles and all that. Therefore, it is the, you can say, power of the income tax officer to call upon any person.
Any person.
And that is a sovereign function.
Yes, it is.
Now, after receiving a reply, he might as well accept.
True.
Now, this is called authority. Authority under the laws.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you wish to join civil service, candidate must be aware of this basic aspect, that you are administering laws, and therefore your function is quasi-judicial in nature. So, one has to be told, a student has to be told that whatever service you get, all are equally important.
Right. That has to be told to them. It's very important. These young aspirants who are preparing for UPSC, they feel like sometimes we don't have the officer-like qualities in us. So how do we develop these qualities? And
who tells them? Who is competent to tell that you don't have the officer-like quality?
they themselves say that we don't have, and generally we also tell them that it's not something that you should be born with. These are things that you, when you're studying, it's something which comes in your personality naturally when you're preparing for this exam. I think this exam makes you too confident, and it changes your personality completely, the preparation itself.
Balanced mind. See, the board would like to see whether the candidate has critical thinking capacity.
और वो कैसी होती है?
Critical means you have to look at the evidence on both sides and come to a well-reasoned conclusion. It is the judicial mind.
Yes.
Once you get a representation on a certain matter,
Yes.
it has to be examined. In other words, three things board would like to see. Number one, critical thinking capacity. Whether your mind is prejudiced or this or that, this is what. Second, whether you have the potential to develop a judicial mind. Judicial mind means respect for evidence and willingness to go deep into the matter. And finally, application of law and policies.
And how do they see this? By giving them the situations or asking them such questions?
Papers. Whenever a matter is placed before you, you have to apply your mind.
No, but during the interview, the board, how does the board decide that, okay, this person...
You see, board would like to say, raise one or two controversial issues.
Yeah.
Or complex issues. And know your views on the subject.
Right.
The way you reply or not reply, that will create an impression in the minds of the board that he may not have this quality in good measure, but he has other qualities. So the board will take a balanced view.
Yes. So you are not being judged if you don't reply for...
if you don't, integrity is important, because if you don't know, better say I don't know. That will appreciate. But whatever you know and whatever you state must be based on facts.
And does the board let go the factual errors if somebody makes during the interview?
See, what I am told that they will not give much importance, because sometimes nervousness and all kinds of things It's a life and death kind of a struggle. But what I would say, tell the students, you must maintain your cool. Listen to the question and limit your answer to what you know.
Right.
If you don't know, better say I don't know. That will be appreciated.
And sir, if you would like to share your experience of your interview days, your board member, who were they?
Yes.
And if there is any such incident from your
Two-
interview.
3 issues I can say.
Yes, sir.
In the first interview, Mr. KPS Menon
Oh.
was a member of the board.
Mm-hmm.
So, since I was born in what is Bangladesh now, and Mr. Menon asked me about my views on partition of India. So I answered.
Okay.
Then another member asked me, since you play football, what is the height of the goalpost?
Okay.
Which unfortunately I did not know.
Okay. And this was in that interview that you cleared, or you
No,
didn't
I
clear?
cleared both.
Okay.
First time,
You
as
were
I said,
allocated railways.
Indian Railway
Railways.
Traffic Service.
Yes, sir.
And some questions about commercial crops.
Okay.
Jute is a major crop, I remember. But I found KPS Menon was a big ICS officer.
Yes.
Second time when I went as a railway officer, I applied for interview in 1965 actually.
Yes, sir.
No, 1965 end, early 66.
After the war.
So you're asking me about railway finance.
Okay.
And railways were to pay every year some dividends to Government of India. So one of the members asked me, he said, do you think that this should not be allowed? Because surplus that railways have generated should be used by the railways for improving the facility. The why is government accepting dividends? Is there any other way? My answer was that the investment in the railways was entirely public investment. Therefore, the public should get some return on the investments. Therefore, the dividends that railways pay to the government is perfectly in order. So the member was highly pleased. He said, this is a very practical way of looking at the problem.
True. Even I thought so. Yes, sir.
So and the interesting part is that during my training at Railway Staff College at Baroda, this point was explained to us.
Okay. And this was asked also from...
I know, it's just a matter of luck.
And sir, you were born in 1942, you just told me a few minutes ago. So do you have any memory in your mind of the pre-independent India, the colonial India?
Frankly, no.
Okay.
But the colonial India, as you saw in Calcutta in those days, was a huge presence of British executives in various companies and the presence of the British in Calcutta police.
So, and how was their attitude after India got independence and they were still there?
See,
and you said...
I was too young to understand it, but I can say
Yes.
that my principal
Yes.
was an Englishman, Dr. Harold John Taylor
Okay.
of Scottish Church College, Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
They were deeply interested in advancement of India because they wanted their interest to be preserved. Their hold as managing agents of several companies, they had a huge presence in India. They wanted this to continue. And they're very happy that India became an active member of the British Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, right. And how do you see the future of civil services now?
Bright, because if at all there is a lesson of liberalization, is that good governance is required. That is, an expeditious system of disposal of grievances.
So if I ask you, if you were to prepare for this exam again, like in 2025, how would your preparation be very different?
Well, first is that I won't appear because the ball game is different.
Yes, yes.
You have to appear for prelims.
Yes, now there's this
Then
prelims.
this.
True.
In our times, this was not there.
So you won't appear.
And yes, and the what you call the examination is so very different.
What one message that you would like to give to the young aspirants whom you mentor today and whom you are in constant contact with? How should they see this preparation? Should they see this as something which is so important that sometimes they don't think that there's any other option available for them, and we said that multiple attempts are okay because it shows their deep interest in this exam, but yet after that also some aspirants get so depressed because they're not into these services. So is there any how do you see that? Is there any other life of beyond UPSC?
Of course, there has to be.
Yes.
Compared to the total number of students who appear and the number of successful candidates, there's a huge gap. It will remain so. I would advise that if anybody is appearing for the UPSC exam, unconsciously, this is a self-development process for him also.
Right.
He will get to know so many things which could be put to good use even later when he might have a different kind of a career.
What जिसको आप बोल सकते हैं plan B of yours. How important is it to have a plan B at this point?
Plan B is always there whether you like it or not. See, it's a compulsion. When you don't succeed, that's the only way, other options. But point is that while preparing for the civil service, you know the basics of governance, basics of public governance in a democracy. And that is an important part of your capacity building. Even appearing for the civil service examination is a part of self-development process.
Right.
In the same way, those who get selected and join civil service, they also have a responsibility that you are a part of the system of administration. And administration basically means administration of laws and policies.
Right.
And therefore, one must discharge duties with an open mind. And as we have been taught that as a magistrate, you have to apply your mind before you take a decision because it is subject to appeal.
So this would be your advice to the young aspirants and the young
Read
officers.
law seriously, try to connect different laws. Then you find there is a common object, that is delivery of justice. Take for instance, today, in the wake of climate change, every civil service field officer has to bear in mind the consequences of global warming and climate change.
So you constantly have to see the interest of others and interest of the large population.
Yes, whatever you do will indirectly affect.
Yes.
Take the role of National Green Tribunal.
Yes.
So they should study the law that created this body and what is the relationship between Green Tribunal and challenges of climate change.
That's something very relevant that you've just said. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It was an insightful session.
Thank you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
What gives me greatest pleasure that even at this age, you find me useful.
Of course, sir.
And
of course.
to provide some inputs. But my last message to the aspirants is this. Please remember that your primary responsibility is administration of laws and implementation of policies, which will be smooth and proper if you take interest in this subject seriously and start thinking about it. in a larger perspective. But cultivation of a judicial mind is what civil service needs to perform duties in a fair and transparent manner. Always bear in mind that your decisions are subject to appeal.
Yes, sir. So, as sir has repeatedly pointed this out, that cultivation of judicial mind is really required by the civil services. And those who are aspiring for this exam and those who are already in the services, they should understand this, that administration of law is the sole, should be their sole work.
Exactly.
And if they do that work, of course, they'll be a successful civil servant, right?
And policies also.
Right.
Because policies have the force of law,
Yes.
like MG Narega.
Right.
And it will be a good thing to start with studying the MG Narega.
So I think one should follow the advices that sir has given. And thank you so much for this, for listening to us. And thank you so much, sir, for coming.